Hi everyone, welcome to the Alabama Homestead. Today we're going to be taking a property tour of the farm that we plan on doing our homesteading on. Right now we're not in a place to have all of our infrastructure, so we have some things that are growing. We have some blueberry bushes, we have a pecan orchard, a couple of things that are growing on the property right now. We just haven't taken the time to properly get everything ready the way we want it to. So I'm going to be taking a quick tour of the property just to kind of show you guys what all we have, what all we're planning to do, uh, different things like that. So y'all just bear with me. All right, guys, we're right in front of the old barn, and there's a couple things that I would like to do with this. It is good and structurally sound, and there's a lot of history with it. I'd really like to keep it the way it is. Obviously, someone's done some electrical work just to put some lights up. But eventually, we're going to start growing our own food. One of the things that I'd like to do is make this a place where we can dry out our root vegetables or dry out our garlic and onions. It'd be a nice little place for that. It's got a lot of holes in it, so you get a lot of breeze and a lot of airflow through it. So I think that would be a nice place to put all of our onions, garlic when we're trying to dry some stuff out. We got a couple of fig trees around the property. They produce pretty well. There's a lot that we can do. Obviously, this one is enormous, and we should probably trim it out and cut it. Over here, we have a couple of fruit trees. There's some pomegranates. There's some apples. And there's some failed attempts at some persimmon grafts. So that's some of the things we'll probably take out. Over here we have one of our cow pastures. Got a couple of cows on the property. We usually just raise them for meat. Hopefully one day we'll get a family dairy cow. Be nice to get our own fresh milk, fresh butter, fresh cheese if we're feeling particularly brave about stuff. That's one of our pastures that we use to graze our cows on. We have another pasture that we use for hay that we can feed them in the winter. And we have a couple more pastures that they get into, like the pecan orchard, that we allow them to graze on, and they help fertilize the soil, so it's kind of helps us both out. Okay, so speaking of the pecan orchard, here's a shot of it right here. Obviously you can see cows are enjoying their food. They are full and happy Dexter cattle. Lying down is a great sign for them. Over here on this edge we have a place where we did grow some blackberries. We don't grow enough blackberries for what we want because we have someone here on the property that eats us out of house and home with them. She loves them, so we hope to grow more of that in the future. Over here we've had some garlic grow, not enough to sustain us or anything, but it was fun to, get a couple of cloves of garlic and, have that in a couple of meals. But we want to get more serious about providing for ourselves and providing for our own needs in that way. But yeah, another shot of the pecan orchard. I think we have about 12 or 15 trees. We have a couple more around the property. Down here, we'll probably get another shot of that. That is the pond. It's stocked with a couple of different fish. I know it has a good amount of brim. It also has a few catfish and a few bass, if I'm not mistaken. Not a lot of fishing, but it's fun to fish. We need to thin out some of the brim herd and maybe replace some of it with some different types of catfish or some different types of bass, something that we can sustain ourselves with. All right, guys, so here is a shot of the pond. It's not particularly big. I think it goes about 12 feet deep in the center, is what we were told before we got the property. But like I said, it's stocked with a good amount of brim. There's some catfish, I think a few bass, a couple of cleaners, but that's about it. Over here, another shot of where we mainly keep our cows on their pasture over there, and they come over here and feed, and good amount of land for them to eat off of. Okay, so over here we're very excited about what this is going to be in the future. This is going to be our future house for our homestead. There is another house on this property. This is a family property. We plan on putting our house here, though. You'll notice that a lot of the land around here is terraced. It helps with the water runoff and erosion problems that we're going to have. But this is a nice little plot of land that we're going to be hopefully putting something soon on. Nice little yard. I can envision all of the animals, all of the crops, everything that we're going to grow over on this place. Over here we have another small pasture that the animals do feed on. Hopefully we can do some other things with it, maybe turn that into a small market garden of some sorts. Our plan is to provide for ourselves so we can sustain for ourselves, but another longer term goal is to make money off of our land. It's a passion of ours to, raise enough to obviously feed ourselves, but we can help out our local community and put money back into our local community and our economy around this area. It certainly would help us out, providing for that and meeting some needs. Besides the food, we obviously need food to provide for ourselves, but we also need to sustain ourselves with some other things. So hopefully we can get this established, and we want to document as much as we can because this is a learning process for us. Obviously, we're going to depend on good feedback and just kind of figure out what we can do, what we can't do. So it's going to be a real big learning curve, and we're looking forward to it. All right, so like almost every single other homestead out there, we do have some chickens. We use these for our egg layers. Eventually, we are going to do meat birds. If you guys have a good suggestion on the type of meat birds to get, I know Cornish cross is very popular because they grow quickly and they grow big. But if you guys have any other suggestions, we would love to know. That's one thing that we do want to do around this property is raise our own meat birds. Hopefully we can get that started sooner rather than later. I know we're getting into September, so we'll probably miss the mark there in this region of Alabama. But it is our goal to eventually raise our meat birds and sustain ourselves with those. One of the things that we have here that has been established pretty well are some persimmon trees. They always do render a good crop for us to eat. We'll eat them fresh off the tree, or we'll dehydrate them, have them for snacks later. But these do pretty good, providing the amount that we want. Obviously, we could do with a few more trees, it wouldn't hurt. The guy who originally owned this property, he used to graft persimmon trees into other types of trees. I can't remember which, but that's what he used to do. And he left us behind a good amount of persimmon trees to eat. All right, over here we have one blueberry patch. We have a lot of different blueberry bushes. As you can see, they are kind of overgrown. We do need to come in here and, trim them up, take out the garbage trees and the weeds that come up. It probably wouldn't hurt to put some silage tarps down and run proper watering systems in through it. But we get a ton of blueberries just off of this small patch here. So we eat pretty good with this. Like I said, the guy before owned this property. He planted all these blueberry bushes, and we do get to enjoy them. But we do need to do a better job of maintaining them. So just like our blueberries, we have a good crop of muscadines. We are in Alabama. It is the grape of Alabama. It is very hearty to us and they taste delicious. But one of the problems that we have as well with our blueberries is we need to prune, trim, uh, just get rid of the garbage that's in these. Uh, they do produce pretty well for what they are right now. We could get a lot more if we would just make an effort to trim some of it out. Right now, uh, they're getting pretty close to ready for what we want. So I don't remember the type of varieties that we do have. One is a deep purple, and we have another one that's that green color. So, but if I can figure out what type they are, I will let you guys know. Obviously, if you guys have any suggestions of kind of controlling these, because they get out of control quick, I know we are going to start pruning and trimming out everything once it gets colder. Once the foliage dies off, we'll come in here, just kind of wipe everything out and just put those main beams up. Hopefully, you know, the way this land is terraced right now, we do have plenty of room for expansion. So we may expand our muscadine orchard just a little bit. But before we do that, we got to get this under control. So right now I'm standing on our area of land where we have a gas main that runs through. That's the end of our property over there where the tree line is. And it goes beyond that pasture over there. One of the things that I'm thinking that we could probably do with this gas line, it's not really great for anything. It's rocky soil, clay soil. Maybe we can put some amendments in. Maybe we can put some type of organic matter in. But it would be nice to plant a row of corn or field of corn here. Maybe feed some of the animals with that eventually. Just kind of a substitute, you know, put in their diets, maybe a different kind of grain that we could grow here for ourselves. It'd be nice to feed the animals with this and not have to go to the store, but that's on down the line. We're just kind of thinking of some things that, you know, through the future that we can try to implement. You know, if we don't think about the things that we want to do, we're not going to do the things that we want to do. So we're just trying to think through everything. Like I said, if you guys have any suggestions at all, we'd be glad to hear them. So over here, we're overlooking another small pasture that we have that the cows have access to. Down further where you see the end of the tree line down there, if you go beyond that, there's a small creek that runs through. I'm not gonna attempt to go in that right now while it's summer. There's plenty of snakes, plenty of ticks, plenty of everything that I don't want to mess with. But during the winter months, I'll go down there, show you guys what we have over there. It would be nice to be able to collect our water somehow, use it for general purposes like, you know, watering the garden or, you know, something that we could do with creek water. But down here, it goes on a pretty good ways where we have our land. Like I said, this connects to that bigger timber. We have really nice growth through here. We kind of want to keep this property or this area of the property the way it is, just because we enjoy walking and riding through it. But if there's something that we can do within those parameters, we of course want to be able to do everything that we can with this property. There's a lot that we can do with it. It's just figuring out what we want to do with it, what we're capable of doing, and what we want to keep as enjoyment and what we want to keep as ways to sustain ourselves. So over here is another little patch of blueberries. Get plenty of blueberries from them too. If nothing else, this property grows some blueberries. Over here, we have another barn. This was all established by the previous owner. Inside it, the property owner now, Pops, he bought the barn with all the equipment in it. So we got equipment to actually take care of the land. We get a little side-by-side car that we can run around in. We have a greenhouse that we could probably use to start some seedlings. Over here is a attempt at a smaller garden. But like I said, we want to be able to grow enough where we can sustain all of us that are living on the property. There will be around 5 of us here. So we want to grow enough food on this property to sustain us and a way for us to grow for our community as well. So hopefully we can do a smaller market garden, stuff like that. Plenty of property to get some things done. We just need to implement the ideas and techniques that we've researched and the things that we're going to learn about. We obviously need to pay attention to how we're going to change the property, whether it's the right fit for us, what we want done in particular. But that's where you guys come in to help us too, because like I said, we are learning as we go, and we are trying to document as much as we can. That way, further on down the line, someone else can see it, someone else can be a part of it. And, you know, even though we can't all do the same things in all areas, we're in Alabama. There's probably some people that are going to watch this in different parts of the country, even different countries. I know we can't implement everything here that everyone else does, and you know, no one can copy what we're doing everywhere else, but if we can get something established and kind of show the progression in those ways, hopefully we can get to a point where we can show how we did things and maybe work those different things out in different areas. But we do have a good amount of land here, plenty of stuff that's established that we just need to take care of. And there's going to be some things that we're going to definitely change up to hopefully just kind of snowball effect our way into getting more prepared to sustain ourselves. But that's it for this property tour. You guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're going to post some pictures and videos and stuff there. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you really enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys next time.